On September 18th, an ExploreLearning Gizmos update was given to middle school and high school assistant principals for curriculum. Here are the highlights of that update. In previous years, ExploreLearning Gizmos have been utilized in middle school science, and high school math curricula. ExploreLearning Gizmos has also been made available to alternative education, exceptional centers, as well as EOC Fuse teachers in support of Gen Ed classrooms. This year, for the 2013-2014 academic year, we welcome middle school math as well as Hillsborough Virtual School to the district-wide Gizmos implementation. Teachers and students will be utilizing ExploreLearning Gizmos in math and science classrooms in middle school and high school levels. In strengthening the district-wide implementation, Gizmos have been aligned to middle school and high school textbooks for both math and science. Gizmos have also been aligned to middle school science, and high school math curriculum guides, making it very easy for teachers to identify Gizmos to use with their curriculum. Here is an example of middle school science. High school science is also done in a very similar fashion. Teachers can open up resource pages or their curriculum guides to find the benchmarks that coincide with their curricula, and also the gizmos that are aligned with each one of those benchmarks, and in some cases, even drill down to the essential questions of their curriculum. In high school math, we just completed this process over the past summer with curriculum rewrites. Teachers will open their curriculum guides electronically and find ExploreLearning Gizmos embedded along with their curriculum. We will be starting this process this year for middle school math, who are just joining us this year for the Gizmos implementation. In addition to aligning Gizmos and correlating Gizmos with curriculum, Gizmos are also aligned to district-level data in support of a continuous improvement model, such as formative assessments. There are a variety of resources that have also been created for FCAT 2.0 math and science at the middle school level, as well as algebra, geometry, and biology, and of course prep. Teachers will find these particular resources hosted on the Hillsborough Gizmos blog, as well as in the first class conferences for their curriculum areas. Support and updates are also given to district academic coaches if your school has an academic coach, as well as to department heads at the high school level and subject area leaders at the middle school level. Let's now turn our attention to talk about district level and school-based professional development using ExploreLearning Gizmos. These professional development opportunities are available to middle school and high school math and science teachers, in addition to teachers at alternative ed, exceptional centers, Hillsborough Virtual, and EOC Fuse teachers who are supporting math and science classrooms. The initial Gizmos training is the gateway to utilizing and gaining access to ExploreLearning Gizmos. This is a 3-hour initial training that's designed to not only give teachers access and help them understand the account functionality and utilization of Gizmos, but also to provide a variety of ideas of how to infuse it in whole classroom instruction and providing best practices for technology usage in the classroom. This 3-hour training is available on a Saturday at the Instructional Service Center. Dates, times are available in the PDS system for enrollment already. Teachers only need to enroll in one of the training sessions. There are 2 to choose from, however. There's a morning session from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. or an afternoon session which runs from 12:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. At this current time, it does offer stipend as well as 3 hours of in-service for the initial Gizmos training. Any teacher who does not have access to Gizmos, who is teaching science or math, has the opportunity of attending the initial Gizmos training. In the month of October, district-wide, we're also going to be continuing with a small cadre of teachers, which we call Gizmos mentors. This is going to be a full day of professional development, which the teacher will be removed from the school site, and sub-allocation has already been given by content supervisors. Content areas that will be attending this include middle school science, and high school math. And a teacher leader or teacher champion user of Gizmos will be attending this. Sub-allocation forms have gone out to that particular teacher, and they're asked to notify their principal as well as get the sub-allocation form signed by either the principal or the assistant principal for curriculum. In the science realm, we're going to be focusing in on providing 6 hours of professional development to this teacher leader, which will focus in on utilizing Gizmos in the 5E instructional model. This is the gold standard of science education and planning for those science lessons. We're also going to focus in on utilizing Gizmos in tandem with Common Core English Language Arts standards, since this is fairly new to all of us. And teachers will have the opportunity of seeing what that looks like and how to manipulate or infuse the Common Core ELA standards while utilizing Gizmos. At the high school math level, we're going to focus in on utilizing Gizmos to help support troublesome topics, as well as Common Core standards for mathematical practices. Site-based professional development is also available, and this typically is set up with the academic coach, the department head at the high school level, or the subject area leader at the middle school level. Initial Gizmos training can be offered at the school site through rolling in service, whereas the teacher will attend for an hour during their planning, as well as an hour after school. Mondays seems to be the most popular in delivering initial Gizmos training at school sites. I also offer a full day of classroom modeling where teachers can host me in their class for a class period to see Gizmos used through whole class instruction, and then on their planning period have the opportunity of seeing Gizmos used with a different classroom. This really helps teachers wrap their mind around what it can look like, how to build inquiry-style lessons, and manipulate the resources and lesson materials that come with each of the Gizmos to put a solid lesson together. This particular training, the whole class modeling, can also be used or done in tandem with collaborative lesson planning, depending upon teacher needs or PLC needs. I'll talk about FCAT EOC Prep using Gizmos in the next portion as we consider site-based support. One professional development module which we've had great feedback and success offering at school sites is FCAT EOC Prep using Gizmos. This is done through rolling in service fashion, whereas the teacher comes during their planning period as well as for 1 hour after school. During this time, teachers receive a mini lesson on achievement series in which we use either their formative assessment or semester exam, depending upon the time of year. Teachers walk through the process of how to find the formative assessment or semester exam, how to rank the data by class period, lowest performing to highest performing, and then as you are seeing on their screen, also in matching the benchmarks to that particular assessment. After analyzing the data class period by class period and looking for trends, we then devise a practical application for continuous improvement and start to parallel resources to each one of those benchmarks for remediation purposes, one of which includes ExploreLearning Gizmos. During this training, we also will showcase a variety of EOC and FCAT Prep materials that are put together. For FCAT Prep, that would be for math and science, and for EOC, we have resources put together for algebra, geometry, and biology. This includes item specification examples that came from the Florida DOE item specs that you're seeing there. Here's an algebra example and the corresponding gizmo that can be utilized, and a biology example. I'd like to wrap up by making you aware of some self-help support resources that are available to both teachers and administrators. These resources are either found on the Hillsborough Gizmos blog address that I'll show in just a moment, or the Hillsborough Gizmos YouTube channel. This, for example, is the Hillsborough Gizmo YouTube channel, in which teachers and administrators will find a variety of Gizmo videos that showcase how Gizmos can be used, for example, with Common Core ELA in science, as well as how Gizmo supports the SDHC teacher evaluation tool. Using the Charlotte Danielson framework and the SDHC teacher evaluation tool, I have aligned some resources to each of the components and the domains and turn these into short videos that administrators, peers, mentors, and teachers can look at if they need additional support or assistance. What these videos encompass are the framework for each one of the components, as well as explicit artifacts or details about the parts of the ExploreLearning Gizmo or the lesson materials that accompany each of the gizmos that will support the elements encapsulated in the component. During these short videos, I also showcase where the lesson materials can be found, which material aligns with the component, and walk through the actual material or lesson resource as it corresponds to the components and elements of the teacher evaluation framework. Again, these are available to both administrators and teachers through the Hillsborough Gizmos YouTube channel. Where you will find these resources is at this web address, which is www.explorelearning.com/Hillsborough. Teachers typically will gain access to ExploreLearning Gizmos and the lesson resources by going to explorelearning.com. This is a resource blog that you're seeing here with the web address explorelearning.com/Hillsborough. And on this blog site is where teachers will find content-specific resources, self-help and how-to resources, details about professional development opportunities, as well as the link to the Hillsborough Gizmos YouTube channel. For further information or any questions you may have about the district's implementation this year, or to schedule site-based professional development or site-based support, please feel free to contact me using the contact information on the screen or by utilizing first class email. Thank you very much.